The Anomaly, Tensura X Data Live, by Nocturne_Chapter 20, Suspense. After everyone became friends with Natsumi, leaving both Shido and Natsumi alone. So, hey, Shido. Do you really think I'm cute? Natsumi asks. Yeah, of course. You're cute, Natsumi. Shido said, as Natsumi turned bright red. You teach me how to do makeup, Natsumi asks. Sure, you'll get good at it quickly, Shido said. I see. Natsumi. About sealing. How do we do it? Natsumi asks. That's. Shido then whispered how to do the sealing to her ear, making her embarrassed and scream. Natsumi stammers, pondering about it before looking back at him. I guess there's no choice. Then she pulled him into a kiss. Natsumi's body started to turn bright pink as the sealing was going on. But, after the sealing was done, Natsumi's astral dress was gone and was fully naked. Shido quickly gave his jacket to Shido to cover herself while looking away, and the other spirits took notice. You should have warned me my spirit armor would disappear, Natsumi said with a pout. Shido, what were you thinking in a place like this? Toka said. I didn't see anything, Yoshino said nervously. You really are a stubborn idiot, Rimuru said with a sigh. Sealing in the middle of the city. That's one wild fetish, Kagaya said. Agreement. Using an empty city to play out your deepest desires is something else, Yuzuru said. Darling is a bold one, Miku said, excitedly. Shido turned around in guilt as he received a call from Kotori. What's wrong, Kotori? Then, he got told that another bomb was dropping down. Are you serious? Huh? What is it, Shido? Toka asks, confused. Seems like it ain't over yet. Another bomb is falling down, Shido said, shocking everyone. I'm out of strength. But I've gotta try, Shido said, trying to summon Sandalphon. Until the falling bomb was suddenly attacked and destroyed, making a huge smoke in the sky and sending shockwaves to the ground. The one who destroyed the bomb was familiar with Shido. No, it can't be. It was Origami in a new battlesuit that seems not to be from, asked. Gami? Shido paused the next day in the morning, waking up from the alarm as he sat up in bed. Trying to turn off the alarm only to be something soft and hear a moan. It was Natsumi in her adult form, and his hand was touching Natsumi's ample bosom. Good morning, Shido, Natsumi said with a teasing smile. With a scream, Shido pulled away as her chest bounced out. Suddenly, Kotori walked in on them with shock. What the hell are you doing so early in the morning? Kotori said, chopping him on the head with her foot. Are you seriously engaging lewd acts like this under the same roof as your little sister? Kotori asks, pulling her foot away. It's a misunderstanding, right, Natsumi? Shido asks. Shido's such a perv, Natsumi said, then he fell down from the bed with a thud. Hey, how did you transform to your adult form? Shido asks. Speaking of which, I never told you. About Natsumi, that is, Kotori said. Was the seal incomplete or something? Shido asks. No, the seal itself was a success, Kotori said. Then, is something impacting her mental state? Shido asks. Yeah, I guess you could say that. Then she whispered into his ear. You know, Natsumi's kinda mentally weak right now, Kotori whispers before pulling away. Oh, hey now. What are you two whispering about? Don't leave this poor girl out of the loop, Natsumi said. Listen here. Do something about transforming over every little thing, Kotori said. Don't be so jealous that Shido fell for me. It's not my fault that your body is inferior to mine, Natsumi said as swayed her body. Who you calling a munchkin? I'll have you know I'm in a growth spurt, Kotori said, embarrassed. Trying to puff out her chest, but nothing really happens. Munchkin, huh? Natsumi laughs at Kotori's miniature body. Don't you dare laugh, I didn't even call you that. You piss me off. Their banter continued on for a while, and Shido already went to school. Rimuru paused at Risen High, sitting next to Shido as she was thinking about last night. The falling bomb and Origami. Origami's still not here, huh? Hey, Seal, what was with that armor that Origami wore? Rimuru asks. Report. Rimuru-sama, that was a Dem CR unit, Seal said. Thank you, Seal. But the question is, why did she? Shido must be thinking the same thing as me, Rimuru thought. Ms. Tomei then entered the classroom with a saddened expression. Before attendance, I have some sad news to announce. What's wrong, Ms. Tomei? Did matchmaking not work out? Were you catfished? That's so lame, ahem. Well, actually, Tobichi Origami will be transferring due to unexpected circumstances, Ms. Tomei said. Before Rimuru could finish, she was immediately cut off by Shidu. Transferring? Shidu said, standing up immediately. Fair, Toka said, confused on what the word is. Hold on a second, Origami, what do you mean? Shidu asks, bewildered. I don't know all the details myself. I got a call from her out of nowhere saying, I am transferring. I'll send you the forms later, Ms. Tomei said. Did Origami really join? But how did they manage to make her join? Rimuru thought, just as shocked as Shidu. No, what school is she going to? Shidu asks. Well, about that. She said some school in England, Ms. Tomei said. England? Don't tell me. England. That must be DEM's headquarters or something, Rimuru thought. Shidu was in some kind of trance, but he came back a moment later. Itsuka-kun? My stomach hurts, so, clutching his stomach, feigning nervousness. You don't have to come, I'll be fine, Shidu said to Toka and quickly walked out of the classroom. And he secretly left the school to look for Origami. After school, it was still early in the afternoon as the other spirits walked home while Rimuru stayed behind. Now, where did that Shidu go? He better not be in trouble again, Rimuru thought. Then she walked around Tengu City, but found herself inverse while exploring it. Since she's always on Ratatasker's watch, she didn't have much free time to explore the city. When she was walking, she saw Yoshino and Natsumi together, walking closer to them. Rimuru-san, what are you doing here? Yoshino asked softly. School ended, the others already went home and I stayed behind. What are you two doing out here? Rimuru asks. Well, I shown Natsumi around the city before, Yoshino said. Before? Why the past tense? Rimuru asks, confused. We saw both Shidu and Origami together, so we followed both them, Natsumi said. Shidu and Origami. Wait, where are they? Rimuru asks. Well, Shidu paused a few hours earlier before school ended and after Shidu left the school. He walked to Origami's apartment, hoping for her to be there. Please be here, Origami. Then he went to an upper floor though an elevator. Good thing I made it inside. In front of Origami's door, he rang the doorbell. Then he slammed on the door. Origami, it's me. Answer if you're there. Then he realized the door was unlocked after he reached out for the door handle. It's open. Then he entered inside her room. Origami. But there was no furniture inside, completely empty. Where in the world did you run off to, Origami? Then he saw a shadow move behind him but as he turned around, no one was behind him. Then his mouth got covered by a handkerchief by someone else as he fell unconscious, a kidnapping. After he woke up, sitting on a chair as his hands were tied up to the chair, preventing him to move. He was in some kind of abandoned building with no roof on top, confused as he looked around. Then he tried to remove the handcuffs, the chair wouldn't move because it was screwed to the ground. I went to Origami's and then he heard footsteps, it was Origami walking up to him. Origami. Hey, Origami. What are you? Water. Aren't you thirsty? Origami said as she took out a water bottle. But she drank from it and kept the water inside her mouth, trying to give the water to Shidu by mouth to mouth. Stop, all right, I'll have some, so let me drink it like normal, Shidu said, flustered. Nice and slow. But Origami forced the bottle into his mouth, making him choke. After drinking the water, Origami pulled it out as she licked the head of the bottle. Shidu coughs. For the time being, could you get me out of this? Shidu asks. That I can't do. You joined Dem? Yes, and abducting me? Was that by Westcott's orders? Shidu asks. I brought you here of my own volition. Dem is not aware of these actions of mine. It had to be done. In order to keep you out of it, this was the surest method to take, Origami said. Hold on a minute. Keep me out? Out of what? Shidu asks, confused. My battle with the spirits. By spirits, you mean? Of course. Toka and the others are no exception, Origami said. I thought you were after the spirit who killed your parents. They have nothing to do with it, Shizu said. They're spirits all the same. If we're to stop more humans like me from being created, we cannot allow them to continue existing, Origami said. Toka and them aren't even detected as spirits. You said you didn't have to go after them anymore, Shizu said as Origami walked closer to a wall. That was a self-defense force decision. It has nothing to do with me now, Origami said. Hey, Origami. It's been over half a year since Toka transferred to our school. How time flies. Those spirits you guys used to fight are part of society now. They're all living like humans now. And you? After seeing them all this time? You saying they're not changed? That once a spirit, always a spirit? That they're so dangerous, they have to be killed? Shizu asks. Origami slammed the wall with frustration and guilt, but her desire for revenge still lingered. You don't think I get it? Yatagami Toka and the other spirits. They're spirits all the same. They should feed my revenge, and yet I couldn't forgive myself for slowly losing sight of that. 5 years ago, I swore to get revenge on the spirits, and yet I got so used to how things are now, and that scares me. The reason I joined them was because I finally realized it. That a life with Yatagami Toka was when I came to accept, Origami said. And what's so wrong with that? You know as well as I do, all they want is to live normal lives, Shizu said. No, I can't allow that. Not as long as they're spirits. I have to kill more than just spirits. I have to kill the one swayed by emotions, myself. I know that Rimuru Tempest is current looking for you, so she should be separated from the other spirits, Origami said as she started to walk away. She won't be able to stop me, and by taking the life of Yatagami Toka, I will regain who I was. Wait, Origami. Please, wait. The door closed tightly after Origami left the building. Toka and the Yamai sisters were all walking back home after school ended. Shido leaving early means he's too weak. We have to train him back into shape, Kagaya said. Agreement. He's a wimpy wimp. Starting tomorrow, we'll make him run all around, Yuzuru said. I'm sure Shido had a reason for it, Toka said. Question. I heard that Master Origami has transferred schools. Could Shido leaving related to that? Yuzuru asks. Yeah. In fact, as soon as he heard about it, Shido left at once, Toka said as they stopped walking. I knew it. That smells fishy to me, Kagaya said. Smells fishy? I can't smell any fish, Toka said as she tried to smell it out. That's not what I mean. Speaking of which, where did Rimuru go? Kagaya asks. I don't know, she just said she needed to go somewhere, Toka said. Smells fishy indeed. Then all three of them heard a familiar voice. It was Miku running at them. Toka-san. Kagaya-san. Yuzuru-san. She tried to hug them, but they dodged her as she slid to the floor. Immediately sitting herself up as she looked at them with a feigned sad expression. It's an expression of love. Why run away? Miku said. Is it? Toka asks, confused as she looks at her. That's right. Everyone's doing it these days. Come on, you too, Miku said. Don't be fooled, my kinswoman, Kagaya said. Warning, I smell a liar, Yuzuru said. I knew it. For starters, what are you doing here anyways? Toka asks. Oh, yes. I came to visit Darling, but no one was there and it was boring. And the house next door was empty, too, Miku said. Shido hasn't come home yet. That whole origami thing might have something to do with this, Kagaya said. Agreement. I think we're onto something, Yuzuru said. Sheesh. Tell me what's going. Did something happen to Darling? Miku asks. Well, you see, before she could continue, there was suddenly a spatial quake alarm. This is the spatial quake alarm, right? Miku asks. Another spirit has showed up then? Kagaya asks. Curious. Shall we see who this spirit is? Yuzuru asks. You can't do that. If the alarm is sounding, we have to evacuate, Miku said. But Shido is. Before Toka could finish, she was cut off by a familiar voice. No need for that. Tobichi Origami. What are you doing here? Toka asks. Everybody inside or outside their houses left and ran to the nearest evacuation shelter as they slowly dispersed. There is no spatial quake. What do you mean? They're evacuating? Toka asks, confused. The alarm is sounding because I requested it to. Neither a spirit or the ast will show up, Origami said. What? Why would you do something like that? Toka asks. Origami pulled what looks like a black ID, she activated it as she put to her forehead. In order to kill you all here. Then she transformed into her new unit, one of DEM's CR unit. Then she immediately attacked them with a railgun as all four of them jumped to dodge it, now in a secluded forest. What was that for? Toka asks, looking up at her confused. Origami flew up to them, clear with murderous intent. I said already. To kill you. To kill all spirits, Origami said, hatred in her eyes. Those eyes. Why? Why have you gone back to before, Tobichi Origami? Toka asks. Origami tries to attack her again, but gets disrupted by the Yamai sisters in the air who are already in their limited astral dress, attacking them instead. Good on you to notice. Admiration. That's our master Origami. Both of them said as they flew down to where Toka and Miku is. Now then. How about explaining what this is about? Kagaya asks. Inquiry. Please answer us, Master Origami. We don't want to fight you, Yuzuru said. I don't have to answer anything. Then, both the Yamai sisters flew up to the air as the three of them clashed in the sky. Sandalphon. Gabriel, Rondo. Both Toka and Miku said as both of them were wearing their limited astral dress now as Miku's angel was buffing them. All Kagaya, Yuzuru and Toka went to attack Origami at once, but, by expanding her territory, Origami pushed them back. Then she attacked them with a growing energy sword, pushing them back into the ground with a huge blow. You guys, are you okay? Miku asks, concerned as all three of them stood up from the attack. Tobichi Origami is serious. If we don't kill her, we'll be killed, but… What are you doing, Toka? Caught off guard, she barely managed to dodge Origami's strike. And so, they continued on fighting as it was useless to try to reason with her. Shidhu was still inside the abandoned building, in handcuffs in a chair screwed to the ground. Hey, anyone? Is anyone there? Shit, I don't have time for this, Shidhu said desperately. The door suddenly opened, it was Origami. But she felt different and weird this time. Oh Origami, you came back for me. Don't tell me, you, Shidhu said, concerned and worried. Origami's face was so close to his face, Shidhu's was still confused of her sudden weird actions. She didn't talk for a while but then, she just laughed sarcastically. Oh Origami, Shidhu looked at her with bewilderment and confusion. Look at that face. That face, she kept on laughing and fell to the ground but didn't stop. So funny, it hurts, you Suddenly, both Yoshino and Rimuru entered the building, running over to him. Shido-san. Yoshino, Rimuru. Are you okay, Shido? Rimuru asks. Wow, nice job getting abducted there, come on, Yoshino. Now's your chance to have your way with Shi. Before Yoshinon could finish talking, Yoshino blocked his mouth to stop him. Wait, Yoshino, Rimuru, Origami's dangerous. She's not normal, Shidhu said. Don't you think that's enough, Natsumi? Rimuru asks. Origami stood up after laughing and transformed back to Natsumi into her child form. What gives? Complaining already? Not happy to see me? Natsumi asks. No, but, why are you three here? Shidhu asks. I was showing Natsumi around the city, and we happened to run into Rimuru, Yoshino said. We saw you and Origami together. And, well, Yoshino couldn't let it go, so he followed you, Natsumi said. Natsumi-san. You promised not to say that, Yoshino said. And Rimuru found us during before she could continue. Yoshino grabbed her arm and moved her around, embarrassed. Anyways, this is great, please. Can you get me out of these cuffs and rope? Shidhu asks. Ah, right, sorry. Before Rimuru could, Natsumi stopped her. What's wrong, Natsumi? You'll have to leave it to me, Rimuru, Natsumi said. Sure, but how? Without responding, Natsumi suddenly started thinking about something and increasingly got frustrated. Natsumi, shut up, you little shits, Natsumi said in frustration as the cuffs and ropes trapping Shidhu disappeared. Natsumi, what were you? I realized, whenever I remember a bad feeling, I somehow get back a bit of my power, Natsumi said. A bad feeling. Like what kinds of bad feeling exactly? Rimuru asks. Well, like during school lunch. I had no friends, so I was eating alone in a bathroom stall. But I completely forgot to lock the door. And a girl from my class found me eating inside, Natsumi said. That would be embarrassing. And when I went back to class, everyone was staring at me, snickering and laughed. Before she could continue, Shizu cut her off. That's enough. Shall we get out of here? Shizu asks. After all four of them got out of the abandoned building, Shizu immediately tried to call Fraxinus but got no response. I can't reach Fraxinus. Do you know where Toka and the others are at? Shizu asks. They should be back home right now. Why? Rimuru asks. Well, after Shizu's explanation, they immediately hurried to their place. End. Chapter 20.